Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are located at the moment. Welcome to Navigating the Maze, Expert Solutions to C-Level Challenges. My name is Eduardo Chavez. I am the founder and CEO of ECM Consulting Group. ECM Consulting Group is renowned for assisting finance organizations, critical processes, and modernized technologies to achieve significant improvements in key performance and metrics like cash generation, profitability, and operational excellence. We will explore today real-world examples that demonstrate how a commitment to process improvement directly correlates with increased profitability and employee satisfaction. We'll also delve into strategies for integrating process improvement into corporate objectives. Finally, we will examine how leveraging technology can enhance any company's competitive advantage. Why process improvement deserve C-level attention? One, because the cost of inefficiencies are not shown in the financial reports used by management. However, a deep dive can reveal areas where resources are being wasted or opportunities missed. Uncovering these hidden inefficiencies provide us a chance to streamline operations and improve the bottom line. What are the benefits of streamlined processes? One, save time and money. Streamlined processes cut time and resource waste, freeing up capital for strategic investments that impact the bottom line. Enable better decisions. Improved processes yield better data, aiding smart decisions. And finally, it helps to stay ahead of your competitors. Efficient processes help companies to adapt quickly and outpace competitors. Today's speaker is an expert in process improvement. His name is Juan Gomez Hoyos. He's a speaker, trainer, and OPEX transformation leader with over 25 years of experience in 7 industries. He has led over 1,000 process improvement projects, and as a result of them, he has been able to deliver substantial savings in terms of dollars and also in hours saved. His education is very interesting. He has a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt designation. Also, he has a quality system management degree, and finally, he holds a degree in electrical engineering. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Juan. Thank you. Good morning, Juan.
Good morning, Eduardo. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you everyone for showing up in today's conversation.
It's really a pleasure that you accepted my invite, and I know the audience must be very interested in learn from your experience.
Of course, my pleasure.
I have prepared some questions that I believe will be of interest for the audience. So, without further ado, let me start to go through them.
Of
The
course.
first question is a two-part question, which basically is how do you ensure that process improvement initiative align with the overall organizational strategy, and also if you can give us an example where you found that this alignment challenging.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. That is a very important question. As much as operational excellence teams can help execute the growth strategy of any organization, I think that the root cause of poor execution of the strategy many times comes from how the strategy is put into action. From the C suite down to each company division, function, and down to each facility. And in the slide that you have in front of us, do you know that according to Gartner, they polled corporate strategies, and they were convinced that 61% of them said they were convinced that poor strategy execution is the primary reason why new growth initiatives fail. The same poll cited in the next slide that the top three reasons why strategies are not well executed, I would say the root causes of it, probably, is ambiguous responsibilities, number one. Number two, inability to cascade objectives to teams and individuals. And third, lack of clear priorities. What do you think about those findings?
I think they are relevant. I in working with clients, I find that this type of issues that are happening, and yes, I believe it's an area of opportunity for many companies.
And I also agree with these findings. In all of my years of experience, Eduardo, I have only seen two good examples of best in class approach to strategy execution. One was with a Fortune 500 organization in the electronic manufacturing space, and they were using, in a very successful way, the Hoshin-Kanri methodology. And the other
Mhm.
example was in the aerospace company, was an aerospace company, and they were using policy deployment, which is a simplified version of Hoshin Canry. And they
Mm.
were also using Obeya rooms or war rooms to formulate and manage the execution of the strategy. It is, to me, is very unfortunate that companies spend countless resources developing strategies that never transcend the one page paper that they print with beautiful graphics and etc. It's very unfortunate.
Mhm.
So when responsibilities to execute the strategies are ambiguous, when objectives are not successfully cascaded down to teams and individuals, and when executing the strategy is not at the top priority of everyone, then failure to execute the strategy is certain.
Yes, I agree. Excellent, good answer, Juan.
Thank you.
Let me move to the next question. Can you share with the audience some strategies that you have used during your career to help people overcome resistance to change while leading a process improvement initiative?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm convinced that overcoming resistance to change during the process improvement journey, it is crucial for the success of the journey. I will try to summarize this, some best practices I learned and some best practices I had personally used using the people, process, and technology categories that most of us are have seen before. First of all, in the people aspect, leadership support and involvement of stakeholders is one of the most important. And I highlighted on in bold type those within those three categories that I believe are top priority. So strong support from top management can set the tone for the entire organization. If leaders are visibly backing the change, employees are more likely to get on board. And also engaging the key stakeholders at the functional level from the beginning to the end, that makes them more likely to support and adopt the change. Second, cultural alignment, I would say, ensure that the change aligns with the organization's values and culture and mission. There's no dissonance between them. Number three, training and education. You have to equip your teams with the skills and knowledge they will need to succeed. This may involve training sessions, workshops, and even hiring external consultants to help you in the journey. Number four, identify change champions. Find individuals within the organizations who can support the change and influence their peers. And these champions can help spread the enthusiasm about the change. Celebrate small wins. We all know that part. It's important. In the process area, I would say pilot testing before rolling out a big change, ensure to consider implementing it in a small scale first. And this will help you in two ways. This will help you to identify potential issues and make the necessary adjustments and tweaks. Believe me, as much as you can plan for everything, no plan is perfect. And number two, it
Mhm.
also can serve as a proof of concept to gain trust of those skeptical about the change. Then, in the communication processes in place, I would say that you have to create the channels for employee feedback to address concerns directly, manage rumors, and be transparent, both failures and successes, and provide any type of counseling or coaching when you feel that some people are worried about the change. And be flexible. Be willing to adjust your approach and plans based on the feedback that you're getting from the team. That's why you have the communication process in place. And finally, in the technology aspects, ensure to provide the right resources and tools that your employees will need. The resources to support the change, but also to collect the data that they will need. So you know if the change is providing you with the expected results.
Perfect. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks for your answer. Let me move to the next question, which is about uh, data quality. How important is to have good data quality when you are trying to launch and sustain a process improvement initiative in a corporation?
Well, Eduardo, I think data availability and quality is fundamental to drive any process improvement initiative. And that's for several reasons. Number one, you have to establish a reliable baseline so you can measure improvements or the changes as you go through the journey. If you don't know that, if you don't know where you are right now, you will never know if you got better or worse. Number two, I would say to do trend analysis, you need data for that in order to self correct in the journey. Number three, you have to use data, you need reliable data to do good root cause corrective action, root cause effect analysis. It's important to identify any root cause of problems along the journey. Four, I would say decision making. It's important to have good, reliable, high quality data to make accurate this data driven decisions. And five, improve stakeholder trust. High quality data will improve the trust of those stakeholders that you need to convince that the change is good for them.
Yep.
So, which steps, second part of the question, which steps would I take to ensure data integrity and availability? First, clear data definitions and transparency. I will kid you not how many times we skip this step and we fail because you have different organizations within your organization, different functions talking about the same terms, the same metrics, the same KPRs, depending on what you call them, and they mean something different. So ensure that every data point collected has a clear and universally accepted definition. This will avoid ambiguity and inconsistencies, and also document how data is collected, processed, and stored. This will provide clarity and trust in the data validity and the understanding of what the data means. Number two, regular
Right.
audits and data validation. You know the value of audits and data validation. It's important to identify and correct errors in the data. And so auditing could be done through automated tools, technology, or also manual checks. Number three, backup and redundancy. Ensure that data is backed up regularly and stored in multiple locations. You will be amazed how many Fortune 500 organizations don't have a robust and tested disaster recovery plan in place. It is scary. Number four, training. You have to make sure that everyone who interacts with the data understands its importance and knows how to handle it correctly. Number five, data governance framework and access control. I think this is one of the most complex ones because you really need experienced people to be part of that group and to design this. This will define who is responsible for various aspects of the data, from the collection to the analysis to the reporting, and also ensuring that only authorized individuals have access to data and maintain logs of all data access and modifications. In number six, I would say update and maintenance. Databases need maintenance. uh,
Yeah,
some
agree.
people at the C-suite don't know that. So you do need to clean up from time to time your data sources and make sure that they are up and updated regularly. And seven, I would say integration and compatibility. If you're using multiple sources of data, multiple systems, make sure that they talk to each other, that they are integrated in some way, so you can use the most of that data instead of having different silos to manage.
Right, right. And also, as we discuss offline, data quality is important not only for process improvement, but for any initiative that involve artificial intelligence, analytics, because both are based on good, on reliable data.
It is true. And it is sad sometimes that many executives want to jump into the bandwagon of AI and adoption because AI is pretty sexy term these days, but
Hmm.
their data is not ready for it. And therefore they're thinking they're going to jump into this wave of technology, industry 4.0 technology, and it's not going to give them the results they're expecting because they do need a lot of work first on maintaining their data and ensuring that the data is integrated and high quality.
Yep, perfect. Thank you. Before, let me move on to the next question. One, as organizations scale, obviously the processes become more complex. How do we approach the challenge of implementing process improvement that are both effective and scalable within this environment of complexity?
Well, Eduardo, this is one of my favorite subjects. When operational
I'm
excellence is
glad.
not embedded as a mindset, from the top of the organization, or when operational excellence is only seen as a way of cutting costs instead of engaging their people's inventiveness and minds to find better ways of working and grow the top line of the business, then as their processes grow, they will never be able to catch up to that growth. So,
Hmm.
having a continuous improvement mindset and philosophy from the highest levels of the organizations down to every employee, so they are empowered and enabled and trained to think for themselves and find better ways of working, are that's the key for success. And that's why I'm showing this slide. One of my favorite definition of operational excellence is from Kevin Duggan in his book Design for Operational Excellence. I highly recommend it to anyone. And in his book, he defines operational excellence as when each employee can see the flow of value to the customer and fix that flow before it breaks down. And for that empowerment and that visibility of flow to happen, we need to begin at the top of the organization all the way down to every single employee.
Okay, perfect. In the interest of time, I'm gonna move on to my next question. I think we don't need this anymore, so we can now go back to our conversation. Let me ask you one more question before we start the
Of course.
Q&A section. How do you prioritize process improvements uh, during when the resources are limited in our organization? If you can give us some practical tips of what do we do first?
Excellent. I think that when process improvement is something that only depends on the operational excellence team, you will never be able to have all the resources you need. And I like to use the analogy of our physical health. I think that you would agree to the statement that having good physical health is one of the most important objectives any human being can aspire to achieve. And of course, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, all those are important too. But let's talk about physical, because that's something
Mhm.
that we can measure very easily. So, as important as that can be, if we only depend on our medicine doctors and health care professionals to keep us healthy, we will fail. Most of the responsibility of our physical health lies within ourselves. The food
Mhm.
choices we make, the lifestyles we adopt, the level of physical activity or lack thereof we choose to have,
Mhm.
it all adds up. It is not just a problem to be handled by the medical professionals when we have a symptom that is bothering us. We have to own it. The same way, to ensure that process improvement is self sustaining, top leaders must own it and be on board. We must ensure to embed process improvement into the core values and DNA, I like to call it, of the culture of the organization. When
Mhm.
operational excellence team becomes the coach you go to for direction and support along the journey, not the sole provider or owners of the journey, the same way healthcare professionals should be a resource to us to keep us healthy, but it doesn't depend on them. It depends on us as leaders of our own lives. So
Mhm.
that is how you ensure operational excellence is sustainable. Anything shorter than that will eventually run out of steam, resources, and also run out of top leadership support.
Okay. And have you seen using numerical calculations or some sort of weighted average to prioritize projects?
Well, it is important, and there are many tools out there that you use for that. I like to ensure that projects are fully aligned with the strategy of the organization. It starts with a strategy. So
Yes.
if we have alignment with the strategy, that's how you prioritize projects that connects to the strategy. Never start a process improvement initiative or project that is disconnected from the strategy, because then you are not furthering, you're not moving forward the execution or the growth of the
Hmm.
organization, because the strategy is meant to help you grow the organization. Therefore, anything shorter than focusing on the strategy is a distraction.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very point. And also, I would like to offer some other factors that I think could be useful for the audiences. In addition to the strategic alignment, consider the cost, the time necessary to implement the project, whether the project is strategic or tactical, and if the company can assign some weights to each of the factors that I mentioned. Somehow you can make the prioritization more like objective because you are using numbers. Obviously, how much weight you assign to a strategic fit or ROI, it's a subjective exercise, but the rest is basic becomes a more numerical calculation. So this is just one way that I've seen some companies do it. This we have
Yes.
a few more minutes, and I would like to move now to the Q&A part of this conversation. One,
Excellent.
the first one is, can you? The question I have here is, can you advise how can I determine which process improvement methodology is better for my organization?
Wow. We don't have enough time to fully address that question, but I will give you my vantage from my vantage
Highlights.
point. What I have seen works better is because you have so many ways of doing this. You know, Lean Six Sigma, or just Lean, or both, or
Agile.
just Kaizen, pure Kaizen. There are many ways of approaching philosophically this journey. I think that it's important that the organization creates their own. That take the right elements from the different approaches, and they create one that is a known, branded, in-house way of doing things. Because then you have the liberty to adopt and adapt the things that actually will help you further your journey, and avoid to be a purist in the sense of you know don't focus on the tools as much as focus on the spirit of the tools, the objectives and the results, and that will help you to have a faster progress in your journey.
Right.
So I would say go and make your own methodology, adopting the best of the best from what is available.
The best of breed.
Yes, the best of breed.
Mhm. Yeah, I understand. This is a good approach. The next question is, in light of the rapid advancements in technology, how do you see process improvement in 5 years from now?
Wow, that's a very interesting question, Eduardo. And I love technology. I'm a passionate Industry 4.0 student. I think that the profession will be transformed, and there is a risk that we, as operational excellence professionals, we might be left behind, because not very many professionals in the Lean Six Sigma, continuous improvement, operational excellence field are well versed in the technology aspects. We talk about people, process, and technology. And in
Hmm.
Lean Six Sigma Operational Excellence team, we all about the people part, training and the culture and all that, and the process part. But we always forget about the technology. And there is
Hmm.
a gap in there that we need to fill. So I urge our professionals to jump into the wagon of understanding and studying and getting to know this Industry 4.0 technology, um, you know, that landscape, and try to learn how to use some of that technology into the practice of operational excellence, and also to improve the processes. Don't try to just plug and play technology to processes that are not ready. And there is some homework that needs to be done in processes to ensure that they are ready for technology and automation. Automation is never a silver bullet if the process is not ready.
Okay, and the next question, this is a quick one. Can you suggest sources or resources where the audience can go to try to get reliable information to remain updated about process improvement?
Well, I would say that there are many organizations out there that provides that right now, and in every area, not necessarily. For example, I have seen many organizations that provide training, but classical Lean, classical Six Sigma. But as I said, there is a gap out there about the technology aspects of the transformation. We talk about the people, we talk about the processes, and we talk about the tools. Of course, we all love the tools, but the technology aspects, I think there is a gap in the market right now, and we need
Mhm.
to seek how to get ourselves educated and reskilled so we cannot we don't want to stop being relevant. We don't want to be irrelevant in this journey. And so, therefore, it's important that we understand technology as well as the people and the process aspects of the transformation.
Okay, all right. Unfortunately, we are starting to get out of time, and before we wrap up, if you could maybe give us some closing remarks, anything that we haven't discussed, but you feel is important that might be important for the audience.
Of course, and I don't know, Eduardo, if you have the last slide with how to connect with me, if you want to show it. Definitely ensure that the last slide with how to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's please, you can use that QR code, or you can go to the joinusli.com, and you will be able to connect with me. I recommend that you focus on the execution of the strategy, how your organizations can translate strategy down to tactical, and how to ensure that you measure the journey within the alignment to the strategy. That it's good to do nice pet projects on the side, but that could be a distraction to and you might spread thin your operational excellence resources. So align to the strategy. Number two, if you're looking at implementing technology, ensure that you have done your homework first, that you mature those processes, you eliminate anything that is not important, you simplify what is left, you standardize your processes and document the processes and train people, you optimize what is left using Lean, Six Sigma, Kaizen, continuous improvement, and then and only then you automate. Don't jump into the implementing tools without maturing those processes first. And that would be great if you have those two things in line and work. You will have great success.
Juan, thank you so much for your time today. I've learned a lot. I am sure the audience got good insights as well, and I am very thankful for your participation.
Thank you very much, Eduardo, for having me, and I'm very pleased to have this time to share some of the experiences that I had.
Thank you. Before we wrap up the podcast, I just want to announce that the next event will be on November 14. We are going to interview an expert in ERP systems, and his focus of attention will be around financial processes. And also, if you have any questions regarding today's conversation, or if you want to talk about how to optimize your finance organization, I can be contacted at the email on the screen. That's all for now, and be safe. Bye bye.